All right, what's up, you guys? I'm just reading through Second Kings right now. A couple things struck me as interesting. First off, God has a sense of humor. We'll get into that towards the end. Second off, I just want to talk about the topic of false worship of like false gods and stuff. So in this, the context for this, they're talking about Baal, worshiping Baal. And in this, they're gathering them. Jehu's trying to gather all the Baal worshipers to out themselves and see who doesn't worship the Lord and stuff. But I think often today, our false gods that we worship and can be kind of disguised amongst us as those people were amongst them is our worship of our phones, social media, money, fame, all that kind of stuff. The things that we might run to try to seek, to worship and to pour ourselves into instead of pouring ourselves into God. So in this context, this story is just about him trying to lure them out. But I think the false God aspect of it can be very much applied and reflected on like in our world today. Now, what happens to them? Well, they pretty much out themselves, and he orders them all to be killed. So that's a very big consequence for worshiping false gods. But as we know, like there is one God, one Lord, and worshiping false gods aside from him yields big consequences, and we're aware of that. And that's our choice. Now, the funny part of why God has a sense of humor, and I want to end it with this because this will forever stick in my mind. So it says, they brought out the pillar of the temple of Baal and burned it, and they tore down the pillar of Baal. They tore down the temple of Baal and made it a latrine, which it still is today. And if you guys did not know, a latrine is a toilet. So what he's pretty much saying, he could have just destroyed it. No, but he made it specifically a toilet. And it also says it still is to today. So it could have just stopped at a toilet, but they had to put in there. It still is to today. So pretty much God is the way to go. And if you worship false gods, there will be consequences of as we see. I thought it's just funny how God was like, yeah, and I'm going to turn your area into a toilet and keep it a toilet to today. So remember that. And I just thought I would show you guys that. Some practical stuff I took out of it, but also a funny thing I took out of it. So hope you all have a very blessed day.